The gospel actually transforms our hearts, helps us to grow up into maturity so that we don't leave when we don't get our way, but we actually lean in and we have conversations and we learn from one another and we learn from our perspectives and we grow together like a healthy marriage. We grow together, understanding that conflict is not always a bad thing. Oftentimes it can be a good thing if it's done with humility and love. But he's also going to say that we ought to love one another, and not just love one another in these walls, but we ought to love one another across the street. We ought to love the churches in our community. We ought to pray for them. We ought to be for them. But we also ought to be for the Big C church all across the globe, recognizing that while we don't always agree, and that's okay, he says we're to be for one another, to root for one another, to come together for the sake of those who do not know the name of Jesus, so that they may be born into the Spirit and invited into the family of God.